Welcoming. Let me see what we are doing here. We're just getting started. Welcome to the Hour of Power. We're just getting started here. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are getting started. Tuning things in. I'm all by myself here, and I have to work a lot of dials, friends. Welcome. In fact, welcome to your Hour of Power Healing, Trauma, and Addiction. So get in, buckle up. Let me see. I gotta read. I see how I'm already distracted, folks. I gotta read it from the screen. All right. I'm trying to read it from the other side, but I gotta read it from this side. So looks like Jim is with us. Welcome, Jim. And we'll bring Jim on here. Let's see if we can change things up a little bit. There we go. Bring in the comments. I see why you call it soldier. Welcome everyone here to your one more. Let me do something else here. Jim, can you hear that? Can you hear that sound in the background?
I can hear some music. Some like
Yeah. Does it sound bad?
not bad. I mean, it's a new tune.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not. It's not scratchy or anything like that. It's not.
Okay. Like the typical one
scratchy.
that I usually play, yeah. The
Uh-huh.
other one's a little funny. Anyways, we're just working with some I'm excited here. Once again, we actually have a guest in the studio, but he's probably not going to show his mug. Anyways, I'm excited to be here. We're going to be here for an hour or 45 minutes to an hour. And again, let me read my script because, again, see, it just goes to show you that I need help. You see, there's a lot of folks coming on here. Jesse, Ken, Laura, out of time, and Jim. Go ahead, Jim. Share a few words here. We've got something I want to read, but go ahead, Jim. What's going on out of Tucson, Arizona?
Oh yeah. It's getting cooler here in Tucson. Yeah, I had a nice Thanksgiving. It's been fairly pleasant. A little bit, I guess, rainy, and the temperatures have been going down. So it's becoming more like fall now here in the desert. So it's nice. The season is changing. Um, yeah, just thinking about, I guess, ideas. We spoke or chatted about some topics that we'd like to go and talk about. One of the things that I wanted to go and talk about today is the idea of, how, just one thing that we do. We talk about reacting to triggers. We talked about triggers a lot. Um, uh, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about how we respond to ourselves. I think that's important because, I mean, everything out there, there's just a tremendous amount of distractions, irritations, um, and I guess emotional landmines that, we can go ahead and be walking around, and we can't change that. I think I remember having a conversation with you, dealing with like negative people or really bad people, just obnoxious people. It's like, you can avoid them. That's one thing, but it might be better to learn how to deal with them. But how do you learn how to deal with them? You got to learn how to deal with yourself, right? And I think it just goes back to an intentional decision to say, you know what, this is the way I want to feel. This is the way I want to think. This is the purpose. This is the reason why I want to go ahead and think and feel this way. And I'm not going to allow what's out there to dictate, how I feel and the decisions I make and the thoughts that I make. So yeah, responding to yourself, I think, is the topic that I'd like to go and talk about. Responding to yourself.
Okay, we're gonna look at that topic. We're gonna look at that topic, and I want to welcome everyone here. But before we get started, I gotta read my. See, I got distracted earlier, so we're gonna look at that. We're gonna dig into this a little bit, and since yeah, and again, folks, we're here for about 45 minutes, 1 hour. We want to make sure that we create an atmosphere of healing. We want to create an atmosphere that's energetic, um, to prepare us for tomorrow, right? For Monday, to prepare us for this week coming up. It starts now. The energy, the healing starts now. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So, by the way, my introduction here. I am Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. Jim is with us out of Tucson, Arizona. So, welcome to another hour of power, building your belief tower. I know this might sound a little funny, but I think it's pretty good. Growing a new journey flower. As you start your new journey, you're planting, you're dropping seeds. You want some good flowers along that new journey, right? Want them to grow. Anyways, let me read it fast. Building your belief tower, growing a new journey flower, healing, not peeling, no longer stealing like Ric Flair. No wheeling, no dealing. Man, I'm feeling it. So I hope you brought your pen. Take notes. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Again, we got a proverb, Hebrews 12:28. We've got a call to action, a 30-minute interlude, and we've got a call to action, and we also got something called the 7-day challenge. So please ask your question, uh, challenge us, provoke the discussion here that Jim and I are having with you. Again, let's create a PNGZ, right? Permanent no gambling zone, to prepare us for Monday, to prepare us for tomorrow, to prepare us for the next hour. So go ahead, Jim. Now, I'm going to let you start this off, Jim, and I'm looking for questions, by the way. All right, just looking for questions. But go ahead, Jim. You you wanted to bring up this topic. I'm going to let you kind of lead there on
Yeah.
this.
So I mean, if we're gonna be talking
Yeah.
about how to respond to ourselves, we have to go and ask ourselves, how do we want to really feel, in life? Do we want to feel like a victim? Do we want to feel sad? Do we want to go out and feel like we're worthless? You know, I mean, all these negative things. It's like it's something that we kind of go to when we are in our addictions, right? For the gambler, right? I mean, whether the gambler goes to the casino and loses a bunch of money and starts beating him or herself up, and really destroying, the self worth of him or herself. Is that how you want to be? You got to make a decision, right? I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to feel like this. You have to go and ask yourself, where are these feelings coming from? Where are these desires for me to go to my addiction? Where are they coming from? Being aware and responding to the thoughts in our mind. Are they good, positive thoughts?
Mhm.
Are they negative thoughts? And we have to go ahead and start responding to those thoughts and start questioning what's going on. Why am I thinking these thoughts? Why am I feeling this? Is this good or bad? Do I want these thoughts? Do I want these feelings? You got to make a choice and say, you know what? you know I don't want these negative thoughts. I don't want these negative emotions. Okay. And where are you going to go? How are you going to respond to your thoughts? How are you going to be responding to your feelings? So that's I guess you can go and say a purpose. Plan. You know, just being aware. I mean, just Usually it's based upon our emotions. You feel something, right? Fear, anger. Stop and start analyzing that. Remind yourself to go ahead and review what's going on here. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel scared. What's going on here? Right? Because oftentimes we don't think about these kinds of things, right? We immediately run away, right? To the casino, to the alcohol, to the drugs, to the food, right? Those are the things that we run to subconsciously, right? Subconsciously. But we're going to go out and start using those as triggers to start activating our mind, right? And start thinking about these feelings. And we can start pushing back, right? We can start pushing back on these feelings. You know what? I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to beat myself up. Yeah, I lost a bunch of money at the casino. Yeah, I did these bad things, I overate, whatever it is, right? But you know what? I'm not gonna go and put myself down. I'm gonna find a way through this. You know,
Yeah.
so just being
Yeah.
aware, having that kind of awareness starts the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And
Now,
it's kind of
I,
interesting,
I have a question for Jim. I have a couple of, yeah, let me see. I got an observation here for you, Jim. And again, I'm looking for questions. I know I just got a question. How do you deal with those casinos sending one offers? I know that's probably not, it's an important question, and we'll talk on this, but let's focus on, we'll focus on the topic also, but um, Jim can say something if he wants to talk on that. But by the way, this is episode number 329 for those of you that are taking notes. And I hope that you've turned down all distractions. You've gotten in, you put your seatbelt, make sure you're locked in, you turn down all distractions. Did you bring a pen? Did you invite a friend? I know I like the bust chops. Sometimes, every once in a while, we all need our chops busted a little bit. They're just reminders. Remember, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. Um, episode number 329. So back to Jim here, and we're also looking at Sam's question also here. Um, so
yeah,
focusing. Let me see here. Oh, I got to read the Jim. You almost distracted me, man. I got to read Hebrews 12:28 here. Let me get to that real quick. Hebrews 12:28 is today's proverb. And then we're going to look at that question or the thought that you had with this in mind. It's not about the behavior, it's not about the thing, the cause, right? We know it's not about that, it's about the root. So, with that in mind, we're going to look at what you were speaking about just a few minutes ago, Jim. Hopefully, we're on the same thought here. Hebrews 12:28 says, wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved. I love that. Let us have grace whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear, for our God is a consuming fire. God doesn't mince words, boy. He lays it right out. He says it the way it is. Um, that's probably why I really love the Bible, because it's really straightforward truth to me. Um, but I do like the fact that there's a kingdom the Bible speaks about that will never be moved. Now, I want to throw this in real quick. Um, uh, either either the Bible is true, or we're all being had on this planet. We're all being had on this planet, right? Or the Bible is trustworthy and revealing. So either the Bible is true, or we are being all had on this ball, or the Bible is either trustworthy and revealing. I go with the trustworthy and revealing side. So, anyways, my input there. So let's get back to Jim. We're addressing Sam again. If you have a question, please put it in the comments there. I don't know. I think Jim sees it too. You can, Or if you have, if you are out there, if you're a mathematician, or I'm just kidding. If you have an answer, put it there, share it with us. This is a place of healing. This is we're creating an environment here. When this program's gone, this environment's done with until next Sunday, right? Do you have another environment that you create? If you do, that's awesome. If you don't, this is the hour of power, or the power hour. Tower. No flower? I'm just kidding. All right, Jim. I'm looking for questions here. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah,
So
I think one of the
the focus. Where is the focus?
I think
Mhm.
yeah, in regards to uh, being able to respond to yourself, you need a plan. And going to Sam's question right there, how do you deal with these casinos giving you all these temptations? Okay, I believe the plan has to be involving specific judgments about yourself, right? And the outside things that are trying to bring you down. Okay. So if you judge yourself as, what, I want to be powerful, I want to be strong, I want to be good with my money, I want to be good with other people, all those kinds of things, I'm going to start judging other
See,
things that go against what I believe in, my values.
that's reading your poem every morning. What you're talking about
Now,
right here?
the Sam sees,
Yeah,
yeah, and
absolutely.
seeing those 50,000, those advertisements for the casinos, all those addictive kinds of things, you start have to be intentionally thinking about judging those things. Are they something that's good for me? Are they something that's bad for me? Are they trying to help me? Or are they trying to go out and help and enrich themselves? If you
Yeah.
don't think about that, you know, if you really deeply think about that, you can say, you know what, these guys are just full of it, you know. And then if you kind of succumb to the temptation, you have to stop and just think, where is this temptation coming from? Why am I falling for this? Why am I falling for this? Where is the root, like you talked
Now
about?
you're
Where
looking
where
for the
is this
root.
root coming from?
Yeah, now
You
you're
know,
looking at the source. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
No, you're
those kinds of things. Like I talked about this before. I like to go and think about these negative thoughts as like demons or devils, right? Coming into your mind, trying to talk you, convince you, you know, towards the dark side, you know, like that that fuels fear, that fuels anger, that fuels that escape, you know, to that place like the casino, right?
Mhm.
So once you go and think about that, is this thought, is this feeling, you know, is this, a positive deal, or is this a demon talking to me? And I accept that these demons, don't want me to, benefit in any way. They want to see me just self-destruct. They just love it when I erupt in anger. They just love it when I go ahead and run away. They just love it when I put myself down. Just love it. They love it when I lose my money, or get drunk or get stoned, whatever, you know. And once you start thinking about,
Everybody.
demon or, something good, right? Then you start saying, you know what? You start questioning, you start pushing back a little bit on these thoughts, on these casino advertisements, and say, you know what? This is something bad. This is something bad, you know. And these are just tools that we're talking about, Santos. And you talk
Yeah.
about how the good life comes from a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. And it reminds me
Repetition.
of what yeah,
Reptilian.
you know
Repetition.
I my my friend Eric, he might be on listening on the broadcast. He talked about him painting his house. Okay, so he was painting, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things that he talked about is one coat doesn't do it. One coat of paint doesn't do it. Helps a little
No.
bit, but you got to keep on doing it and doing it and doing it, right? So if you think about it, the gambler, the person who's addicted, they try the tools, you know, maybe they did the 7-day challenge, they did 5 days, right? Fell off, right?
Mhm.
You know, if you fall off the wagon right there, you know, how do you talk to yourself? How are you responding to your feelings, your thoughts right there? If you understand that, this is a process, it's a process, and you don't beat yourself up and you don't succumb to those demons and devils talking to you in your mind saying, oh, you're a loser, you're a failure. You see, you can't do it. You can't do it. Who do you think you are? Just go back, just go back to the casino, back to your addictions, you feel much better,
Well, the
then you
mind,
start thinking a little bit, what? It's
yeah, the
right.
mind, the mind again. Most of the time, the problem that we, the most, the major problem is that we're focusing on the band-aid. We're focusing on the leaf, the rotten leaf, that's hanging off the branch that sprouts
Yeah.
down from the root. Um, we talked a little bit. You spoke a little bit about, you know, in order to change behavior, first of all, you got to want to change. Little secret there. You got to want to change. Focusing on the root, we're talking about the cause. We're talking about the cause, and we're talking about the effect. Focusing on the root also implies visualizing of the new. So focusing on the root instead of focusing on the like. For instance, I'm going to ban myself from the casino for 3 months. Right, I'm going to ban myself from the casino. That might help you a little bit. It may, but it's really not going to give you. You're not really getting to the root because focusing on the root also implies visualization. You got to start thinking of something differently than what you're focused on, right? Focusing on the root also implies visualization of the new. What's expected now that you understand what your cause is? I'm going to read that again. Focusing on the root also implies visualization of the new. What's expected now that you understand what your cause is? Am I making any sense? By the way, thank you. Ray says, "Can you
What is the
pray for me?"
cause?
Yeah, I will definitely pray. I'm not sure what it is that you need prayer for, but um, I see some new folks here.
Race talks about he can't do it alone. I think I commented to you, um, you know,
Thank you.
about
Yeah.
one of the I guess Bible verses, Philippians 4-13. I
Or
think it's like
yeah,
4-13. It's like we talked about mantras. You're big on mantras, sayings.
yeah,
It's all about being able to hypnotize yourself in a good way. Oftentimes, you know,
yeah.
there's so much distraction. There's so much distraction and things that take us off focus. And if you're stuck, I like that. I like that Bible verse that says, I can do all things through Christ,
Which thank you.
which strengthens me. You just say that over and over and over again. Ray says, I can't do it alone. I can't do this alone. Yeah, you know what? Embrace a higher power, right? Because that higher power is all in us if we kind of put our faith into that higher power. The
Yeah,
naturalness, I guess, of us is escaping, hiding, getting angry, getting fearful, giving up, despair, low self-worth, anxiety. That's the naturalness of the people, of humans, right? But if we can go out and say, yes, we can tap into a superpower, right? A superpower within us, right? There is a strength within us, and if we can
hmm
keep on saying that over and over again, it's like, I want to be powerful. I want to be focused. I want to have strength, over all that I encounter. right? So I mean, I like to go and think about
No,
you know
it's
the
open.
the
Wait, it's open the gate. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim. Yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I think in one of your TikTok videos you were talking about self pity. We're talking about just that kind of attitude and that mindset. And I was thinking about, where does that come from, and I kind of realized that that self pity, that sadness, that kind of comes from that younger child, that younger version of yourself when you were basically helpless, right? And what could you do? What could you do when you were in that situation? You know, cry, run away, you know, do whatever defensive mechanisms you can to protect yourself, right? And oftentimes we can get to that point. We can feel that way as adults, but that's that little kid. That's that little kid. I think that our mind is going towards. But now we can have the awareness that what, you know, I can support that child. Yes, I have those feelings, but that's that little child who didn't have many resources at his hand. But now, you know, I can protect that child. I can protect that child with a new attitude, with a new outlook,
Yeah.
with different perspectives. So that child, you
Yeah.
know, protected now.
Yeah. One thing that I want to say, somebody needs to hear this right now in this program, that you're here. You're not here by an accident. I just want to let you know this. You're not here by accident. I don't know where else you go to have an environment for healing in your life, to be able to overcome the gambling addiction or some other addiction, because the truth is, if you're trying to overcome an addiction, it's the fact that there's something else there that you really need to focus on. There's something else that's really driving this thing in your life, and that gamble is just a big distraction. It's just a cover up. It's a smoke screen. So I'm glad you're here, whoever you are, that you need to hear this. Again, I'm looking at the questions. I'm trying to do all kinds of things here. I get a little bit distracted, and I do apologize. Unfortunately, I'm trying to run a studio here. I got Jim on the other side. I know that he doesn't have a lot of control, but I'm doing my best to focus on your questions, because your questions are important. You come in here, there's a reason why you're here. And I want to make sure that listen, if you don't feel like you're getting your questions answered, say, hey, can you look at this? Let me know in the comments there. Poke me in the eye, poke Jim in the eye. I don't care how fast we're talking, or, yeah, there's sometimes we have to get a point across. But if I see a question in there that's pertaining to, your life, and maybe whether you're going to be, in trouble tomorrow or not, I want to look at your question. I want to make sure that you come in here, there's a place of healing for a little bit. You leave here, I don't know what else environments you create, but I'll tell you one thing: environments make all the difference. An environment will make all the difference. It will. A good environment will make all the difference. A bad environment will make all the difference. So keep that in mind. And we're coming here to the 30-minute mark, so I want to just share with you. First of all, I want to thank you for being with me, and Jim here, all of us. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate that. I want to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. If you're just coming by, please subscribe to this channel. Turn your notifications to all. Make sure that's important. That way, when we put up new content, okay, we can make connection. You got something going on in your life, is nothing better than a good ally. Whether even if it's just through a video, a good ally, man, today is worth maybe more than gold. So make sure that you like what you see. If you like what you see, share, comment. You can share the videos, comment the videos on the YouTube channel. I do my best to respond to your comments. I will always do my best to do that. And again, only if you feel supported, make sure that you donate. $5, $4, $23. Keep that number in mind, the number 23. Okay. And again, if there's anything I can do, Jim can do, feel free to ask. Send us a question afterwards because it doesn't end here in this program. You know, we have to take what we have here and we have to take it on. You have to live it. You have to practice it. Yeah, you're gonna scrape. You're gonna get some scabs. You're gonna get some scabs here. You're gonna don't peel the scabs. Don't peel. Let them heal. Right? Every time you come here, they'll get stronger. Right? Those scabs, and then they'll just fall off. We like to pick at the scab. I know I do, especially if it's a big one. You kind of pick, it's itchy. No, let it. Our lives are like that. So I'm glad you're here. All right. With that said, it's the 30-minute mark. We got about another 20, 25 minutes. Time is going by very quickly. What? Let me ask you this. And again, uh, community, please. If this makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, let me know. What is option one? If you know that your problem is not the gamble, it's not the drac, it's not the craps table, it's not the thing. If you know that, okay, you're on good ground now, right? You're on good ground because we're talking about character. We're talking about what Jim is sharing earlier. He's talking about well, basically becoming a better version of yourself, right? You have to look at yourself. I believe that's what you were talking about earlier. We want to become a better version. How we should be conducting ourselves, or even talking to ourselves. We talked about the poem, the five things. So I don't believe there needs to be a second one. What is option 1A, right? What do you have an option once you begin to understand what's really going on? When you begin to realize what's really going on in your life, do you have an option? Do you have an option? In other words, uh, should you do the right thing or do you continue doing the wrong thing, right? Once you begin to understand what is really going on, because our lives can be confusion and we could be doing things and we don't even think about, we don't know, why am I doing this? I've heard murderers say the same thing. I don't know why I did it. I remember hearing testimonials of people that had murdered other people, but murder, I don't know why I did it. I heard it somewhere. It's crazy to think, right? You would think, well, not necessarily. You could be doing things in life and be like in a bubble and have no complete ignorance of how you're behaving. Well, somewhat. You're not going to have complete ignorance. So, does that make sense? Or did I lose myself?
Yeah, Santos. I think
Mm-hmm.
another thing that we have to make sure we tell ourselves is that we don't deserve. We have to tell ourselves we don't deserve self-destruction. We don't deserve self-destruction.
Yeah.
We deserve better, right? We deserve better. Okay, better feelings, better choices, better thoughts. And then you start thinking, well, what does that mean? What does better mean? And you put it, in context with those casino commercials coming at you. You go ahead and think about it. It's like, what is better? Is better being at that place, losing my money? Is better wasting my time there? Is better putting myself in that position where I can't pay bills?
Yeah.
You know, you start thinking about that. It's like, no, no, that's not better. So you start kind of going down that rabbit hole. What is good for me? What is really good for me? You know, is negative self-talk good for me? Calling myself stupid for losing all that money, calling me stupid that I'm such a failure. I can't ever beat this addiction. You know, you have to go and stop and think about what you're saying to yourself, right? And what you're feeling. Say, you know what? I don't want this feeling. I don't accept this feeling. I'm not going to accept this talk. So responding to all those negative program BS that's been put in our mind to be in that
Yeah.
safe place, that child victim, where we don't have any other choice, right? We don't have any other choice. Being that child, we don't have anywhere to go. So we run to the casino, we run to the addictions, drugs, to alcohol, whatever it is. you know.
Run to
But now we can go and say, I don't
familiar,
have to run. Right, right.
the thing that's
I mean, that's like the
familiar.
child running away, running away, right? We don't have to run anymore. We don't have to run anymore, because we do
Yeah,
have some powerful ideas and tools.
yeah, it's a great place to be when you can actually say to yourself, um, "I'm doing this because I choose to do this. If I choose to, I don't have to." But now you better believe in yourself strong enough to be able to say that. That is a good place to be at any fork in the road. The ability and the confidence to say, you know what, if I'm going to do this thing, whether it's good or bad, you acknowledge it. And the fact that you know that you have control over what you're doing. Sometimes, like I said, we're living in ignorance, and we wake up and we realize that's not a very smart thing to be doing.
You know what, Santos? I
Uh,
just thought of something. I mean, something that everyone can try to do. You know, the the ability to let go of something, right? Let go of um, anger, right? Maybe you had a confrontation with someone, right? Or something bad happened, right? Maybe you lost something. That usually gets us really riled up and emotional, right?
it
But
creates an
if you have that
environment
ability to say,
of,
yeah, if you can just say, you know what, I'm going to lay that down, you know, I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm just going to let it go. Just let it go. And man, that's amazing peace right there. It's amazing peace when you go ahead and say, you know what, the devil's attacking me with all these kinds of things. You know, if you go and let it go, right, you get a lot
you
of
can,
peace, a lot
and
of
you
peace.
can.
And I think that's
What
what
you're
we
just
need
saying
while
there,
we're up.
what you're saying there, Jim. I know we're getting a little bit ahead of the call to action, but it is true. In fact, it's funny because I wrote this before you even spoke it. It's right there. You can make a decision. So you brought it up. It's funny. It's kind of interesting. You can come into a program like this and get a thought in your head, and you can make a decision and walk away from everything. It's happened. That's why I like to call this place a place of healing. Um, because again, it's really about us creating belief, creating an environment that that helps us. Why would you go into an environment that's not going to help you? Why would you sit there and watch a program on TV that's not going to help you, go forward, grow, uh, help you with your journaling, help you with, your finances? Why would you want a program? I say this all the time. Why would you come to this program? Um, Man, I come here, I say to myself, I'm going into that program and I'm believing for some kind of healing. I'm believing for some kind of energy to come out of this program, a thought. Somebody might say something that'll help me go into Monday with more vigor, more power, and more vision. Because it is easy to start out doing something. You can make a decision, but then what happens? The typical mark is 90 days. You can try to change your life typically within 90 days. You know whether you're going to change your life or not. That's the cycle typically. That's where the limiting beliefs kick in. Typically, it's about 90 days. Get a new job. I've seen it in the insurance industry when I would see about 90 days. That's the typical range where everybody would drop off. And that's kind of a revolving door, the insurance industry. But for me, it was just a good indicator. Uh, when you put yourself in a challenge, a little crucible, if you will, and it's kind of pushing you a little bit, and you get fired up, but as long as you stay in the environment, it grows. But the moment that you begin to leave that environment, you go into LBs and FTs, limiting beliefs. They start kicking in very strongly, typically after about 90 days, or sometimes even sooner. But the power to make a decision is available. It's just a matter of believing that it's possible in your life. Yeah, it really is. It's just a matter of believing it. It's possible. and then just basically exercising that belief.
Another thing I like to bring up is the question: how do we handle ourselves when we fall? I think that's very important because a lot of us get disappointed, very disappointed and disheartened. When we attempt something and we fail in our minds, right? So we have to kind of be aware of what are we saying to ourselves, and what are we thinking, what are we feeling, when we go back to the habit. You know, I I can see a race. He's struggling right now. You know, and you can go ahead and put into a mindset, right? You know what? Yeah, I fell off the wagon. I kind of screwed up, but you know what? That doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop. Fighting this addiction. I'm gonna go and keep fighting. You know, it's just gonna go and push me. You can go ahead and think about it as you know uh, um, a tool actually to help you push yourself in the right direction. Those failures and that forgiveness, letting that kind of anger and self-hate go when you make a mistake. you know I'm going to go and try again tomorrow. I'm going to go and try again tomorrow. I'm going to look at the situation, what got me here, what got me to mess up. I'm going to go ahead and think about what feelings got me there. Why. And I'm going to go ahead and do better next time. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
it,
under,
it is
it's a
about
fight.
creating. Yeah, it is a fight. It's about creating environments. And really, it's the environment is within, because everything goes down. Everything that's made, everything that's constructed has a foundation. There's somebody laid a blueprint for that thing. And sometimes you can repair the foundation. Sometimes you can repair the foundation. Sometimes you have to avoid that type of foundation, in life. Um, so there really is no other option. I'm going to answer the question. There is no other option if you understand what it is that you need to do. You can procrastinate, but there is no other option once you understand, what's really going on. Why are you doing what you're doing? You can procrastinate, uh, but there is no other option. You know, you're going to keep. There's either getting bitter or getting better. Uh, so basically, understanding now. Here's what's interesting about we're looking inside, looking to heal, looking to become your very best. Some will, some won't. It's a mystery. Some move on, others stay in this old journey of accident, poverty, and death. Some will, some won't. That's a mystery. So all you can do is do your best that you can to provide, give of what you have, right? If I have the ability to no gamble, man, how can I give that to others? I have the ability to no gamble. I go through the flyers, the temptations, the billboards. They send me toasters. Sometimes they got flashy cars and all kinds of things, uh, free lunch and fish dinners. Uh, I just I don't have the desire for any of that. So how can I pass this on to you on the other side if you're struggling? Well, you can't. I can't pass this on if you're not willing to look at what's causing you to your root, right? I want to help you create new vision, but I think you got to look at the root too, because if you don't look and learn from the the past, or the foundation, your likelihood that probably you're going to repeat it again. I think you will repeat it again. I really appreciate all the interaction here. Uh, Go ahead, Jim. You got some thoughts there, Santos. Let me see at the rainbow. Let me see. I'm looking for questions. I'm looking for questions. But if you go ahead, Jim, if you got something that you want to share on that, um, you know, again, going back, and I guess maybe that's what I'm trying to do here is bring people to that awareness that you know, maybe you're not looking at the root, but at least here we're pointing to the root, kind of give you some ideas, some um, I don't know,
Yeah.
like pushing,
I was
remember remember when you were kind of, no, you do it, and you're a little kid and they're pushing you, no, you do it, I don't want to do it, and they're pushing you, kind of like to go forward. You don't want to do it. That's kind of like maybe what you feel like maybe you're being pushed a little bit, right? But we're doing it for good. We're not bullying anybody here. Go ahead, Jim.
yeah, I was listening to I guess a podcast, a guy named Ted Oakley. He's a money manager, um, investment fund, and he was just talking about people who have a lot of money but are not happy, and he was talking about the people that the people that he sees who are happy, and there's certain qualities, characteristics about people who are happy, and those are the people who help others. They help others. They find there's a joy actually in helping others. Improve.
Yeah,
I mean, if you help, if
yeah,
you decide you want to help yourself, you help other people. You can go ahead and use your problem, that you're having, as a way to gain more happiness. You help yourself, and you look towards helping other people. How do you help other people? Think about your family. You know, if you help yourself, right? Guess who benefits, right? The people around you, right? People that you know, and even others, because you
mhm,
have a testimony like yourself there, Santos, that you can
yeah.
go and share to other people who are struggling. You have this wonderful opportunity right now. If you decide that, I want to have a happier life. I want a happier life. I don't want to be in depression anymore. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be depressed and be full of
And
self pity. And I don't,
and I
I don't want to be
struggle,
losing my money, you know,
and I
to
struggle
this
too.
addiction.
So yeah, I know Jim was talking about we. I just want to let you know that I struggle too. I may not be gambling, I may not be, down and out like, but I struggle too, and that's good that I struggle because that shows me that I'm growing. Because if you're not growing, you're not struggling. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, what do we want in life? What's our purpose, right? What's our purpose? I think that's very important. We need to go and sit down and have a conversation with ourselves. What am I doing on this planet, right? Got to have some kind of purpose. I think one good purpose is to help yourself, improve yourself. Why? Because not only you help yourself, you help other people. You can help other. There's a lot of people who are just suffering right now. So many people are suffering, and they don't have
Yeah,
anywhere to go, right? Except the casino, they think, or the alcohol, or the drugs, right?
yeah,
The
and it's
addiction,
even hard for
right?
people to. There's people that can be in this program. I've seen it. There's people that have come through this community and they've been here for a little bit and they don't feel. They still feel lonely, and that's you're in a, when you're in a place in your mind where it's like your mind, if you train your mind to work effectively, your mind will work with you. But if you don't train your mind, your mind is actually going to train you, and it's going to take you in the course that you may not want to be going in. I believe that's the way the mind works. And you know you have to. And by the way, why am I showing this book? Why am I had a thought there, and I got, again, I get distracted. It's all right. Facebook, as long as I know who I'm speaking to, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. No, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You may need a copy of my book. It's got some good little tidbits inside. Hey, you can read my book. It's affordable. In fact, it makes a great gift for the holidays too. You can go through this book and you can cross out the text as you're reading it and just fill it in with what you want and make that part of you, of your life hacking, of your discovery, or whatever it is. That's what this book is about. It's not the best book. It's not a New York bestseller, at least not yet. But it has some really good insight. And you know what? This is you're investing in yourself when you do this. On Amazon, you can go to Soldiers of Self Mastery. Get yourself a copy if you're struggling with yourself and you want to get some life hacking. Read the book, take some notes, have a tool. Have something for yourself. It's better than nothing. Hopefully it will help you get over that feeling lonely, because feeling lonely is kind of like feeling sorry for yourself. You have to kind of really work against it so that you don't feel. It's okay to feel it, but it's not good to stay there. Like, just, man, you start talking to yourself negative. Jim was telling, earlier, talking about how we talk to ourselves. We say things. So, wow, am I getting ahead of myself here? We've got the call to action coming up here. The call to action, and of course, there is, something that we've been talking about, the 7-day challenge. I hope you're doing it. I hope you're doing the 7-day challenge. And well, Santos, I messed up after the third day. Well, you got the 3 days. That's an accomplishment. You fell, get up and try again. Start over. Start over new. You fell down, you get up. Start over new. Monday's coming, by the way. Hopefully we'll see Monday. So let me see. I'm looking for. John Smith said suicide rates are going. Yeah, it's a tragedy that a lot of suicides. 1 in 5. One out of every 5 gamblers, problem gamblers, commits at suicide. So that's 2 out of every 10. Was it 4 out of every 10, 20? Yeah, we definitely need to pray. And I do pray. I do pray for those of you that are here. I pray that God gives you grace and wisdom. I really do. Pray that He gives you grace and wisdom and the ability to just stand tall. Grace and wisdom, right? Grace and wisdom, the ability to stand tall. That's my prayer for you guys here on this broadcast. We're getting ready for the call to action here. Let me look for. Let me see. If you gamble long enough, there's no gratification, only playing, because you're brainwashed. You basically, you've just, the more you gamble, obviously you put yourself in. You are hypnotizing yourself the more that you gamble. Yes, you are actually moving into a hypnotic state. Now, we do this all the time, whether you realize it or not. We go into hypnotic states, but maybe you're not aware of it. That's a bad one to get into, right? We know this already. We know that. The gambler doesn't have the backup money. He's in debt. His next setback could hurt, really. He doesn't have security. There is no security. Yeah, you're hurting without money, man. Your money, yeah. Go ahead, Jim. You've got some thoughts there you want to share? We're getting ready to.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we're talking about purpose. I think a good mantra to go out and fill your mind up with, instead of all the distractions and nonsense, is just to say, I'm worth it. Quoting from that Fifth Harmony song, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I'm worth it. I'm worth the effort. I'm worth the struggle. I'm worth the effort to, like, think about what is coming into my mind. What are these emotions that I'm feeling? To accept or reject, to really, sift through the nonsense, and just say, you know what, this is not for me. This is not going to be good for me. I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth, saying, no to this nonsense. I'm worth it. Just driving straight down the freeway, not getting off that exit to the casino, right? Or to the bar or whatever, going to the city to get your drugs or whatever, it's a refinement. You know, it's Santos. It's a process. You know, little by little, you refine, you get better, right? You're adding more coats of paint, you know, to what you're making, right? Little by little, you get better. Your ideas get stronger.
Yeah.
Your mind gets more creative in finding out. What does it mean to be better? I'm worth it. I can go and do these things that are good for me. What does good for me really mean? Does it mean take advantage of the casino freebies? You know, dump all my money over there. Is that really worth it? Is that good for me? Am I treating myself in the best way possible? Is that doing well for my loved ones, the people around me? You know, you give yourself that chance, that little space to go and say, you know what?
When
No, no, this is not good for me. I reject it. You know, I don't need it. I'm just gonna lay it down. You know,
Yeah, I want to
all that.
um let me not to knock Jim off here. I mean, but everything that you've shared tonight, Jim, obviously we've talked about is, again, it all points back to really taking a serious look at where we are, right? Taking a look at where we are, a serious look. Sometimes we look, but we don't look seriously. I want to play this just about 5 minutes of this guided meditation. I don't know exactly where it is, but I'm going to play it. Let's see if we get something out of this.
We may not see it. But what do you see yourself doing? What do you see yourself? Do you like what you're doing right now? Do you like it? Do you like what you're doing? Is it pleasing? Is it satisfying to you?
It's too low.
Or do you feel like it's time for change, but you just don't know what to do? You just don't know what direction to take. You really don't know. You stumbled across this video. You've landed at Soldiers of Self-Mastery. I got you thinking. I got you looking. Can you see the image? Because if you can see the image, you can also see how you can change it, my friend. Oh, this is so powerful right here. So powerful. If you can see that problem, you can also see how to manipulate it, right? How to, in a good sense. I'm not talking about something evil or bad here. I'm talking about in your mind. You can mold that thing in your mind. Maybe it's a goal, and maybe it's going to take more of these sessions to accomplish this. The body and the mind work together. The mind doesn't know the difference between something imagined. Like right now, you're imagining how it could be better, how you could mold it, how you could make it, how you could shape it better. Can you see it? Can you see it in your mind? Oh man, this is fantastic. The more you practice, the more you see, the better it becomes, the easier it will become for you to take action. Part of the reason why we don't succeed is because we don't take action. It's hard, it's challenging for us to take action, but in your mind right now, you can take action to fix that thing. You could fix that thing. You could see yourself achieving that thing in your mind. My friend, the more that you do this, the more that you play with this gift that you have, you can give yourself peace. You can give yourself tranquility. You can keep yourself in a peak state performance. More patience, more listening, an eye on your own words, mind, mouth, power, congruency.
All right. Mind, mouth, power, congruency. Maybe we'll focus a little bit more on that video meditation. It's got some really good insight. Sometimes we get into these videos. I'll make videos, and I'll admit, I've never been, I was never prepared for any of this. Now, I do study a little bit, obviously. We all study, we learn, and we come on these broadcasts, right? I just don't come on here. I think I might have come on here, just turn on the station and go and do it. But typically, we study a little bit. And what is it that I want to share here? Oh, man, am I losing track? Meditation. Um, anyhow, yeah. See, I allowed myself to get distracted there. So, but meditation, the new vision that you need to create for yourself, is definitely what's needed in order to go forward. And maybe we'll play a little bit more of that meditation, which is very, very good for all of us to just sit down and meditate. So, with that said, I'm going to end the broadcast here unless I get one more question. The 7 day challenge is on. So, if you're on the 7 day challenge, I'm gonna just challenge you to go on again for another 7 days. Do it, do it. Let's do it. Let's do this together. 7 days, folks. 7 days without gambling. That's PNGZ, permanent no gambling zone. All right. 7 days is going to get you to another 7 days, and that'll get you to another 14 days. Yes, belief. Now, here's the question. I'm going to leave it with this. Jim wants to share something else. Think about this. Look inwards. Okay. Find a place to quiet self down, look inwards, and ask, what is my mission today? What is my mission today? Let your conscience be your guide. And I will see you next Sunday, Lord willing, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here again. Our power hour of healing. PNGZ, my friend. And a call out here to the community before I hang up. Go ahead, Jim. You got something else you want to share? Close up shop here. I want to thank everybody.
One more thing. Just a reminder, everyone has a choice, right? You have the awareness that you have choice. You have the choice of letting go all that negativity, letting go of all the bad feelings, the bad negative self-talk, those negative perceptions about yourself. You have that choice, and you also have the choice of embracing, what is good, what's better and best for yourself, right? And that stimulates hope. Okay. When you go out and let go of the negative stuff, that brings you peace. It brings you peace, and that's something that we all want. Okay. We also need hope too.
Yeah.
Believing that you can do it. You see Santos, he did it. You can do it too. There is hope, right? Keep coming back to these broadcasts, keep watching Santos's videos, keep journaling, keep doing the things that he tells you, and you'll get there. Right? I mean, there's hope, and that should bring some excitement that you can overcome your addictions.
Yep. So thank you for sharing and caring. Let me see. Race K6. Ken Smith. Thank you for hanging out. John Smith. I appreciate you. By the way, remember to soldier scribe and turn your notifications to all. Okay. That way, hey, you can connect with me. We'll make something happen. I don't care where you are in life. We'll make something happen. If you're wanting to connect with me and you're willing to spend some time with yourself and we will make something happen. Laura, thank you for hanging out with us. Hugo, man, it's been a while since I've seen Hugo. Jesse, they called me to come back. Okay, Hugo. And then there was Jesse. Thank you for hanging out. Again, shout out to Facebook, shout out to LinkedIn, YouTube. You guys have been a good audience. And who else? There was quite a few people. Okay, John, Race. There was Out of Time. Okay, thank you for the donation, by the way. I appreciate that. D, okay, yeah, D. And Mark. D, thank you for being here. Mark. Safety, Mark and Laura, safety. Stephen, thank you, Stephen. Those hanging with us. And who else was here? Who else? Let me see. Let me make sure. I like to make sure. Auto Magic. It's been some time. Sam, it's been some time. Good to see you. By the way, thanks, Laura, for reminding us post Thanksgiving Day. Uh, I didn't have enough turkey. I didn't have enough turkey. That's okay. All right. I think we got everybody. And Mark says, I'm here. I'm here. All right. So that's it, folks. Thank you once again. The program's over, and I will see you next Sunday. Jim, thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you,
We'll
Santos.
see everybody
Have
at
a great
the
week. See you on
All right, everyone. Thank you, Jim.
Bye.